COP21 is an odd kind of acronym. It stands for Conference of the Parties 21, so it's the 21st of these Conference of the Parties. And it's run by the United Nations and their Framework Convention on Climate Change. So they've happened every year for the last 20 years. This is the 21st. And the aim of them is essentially to bring nations together. So they have world leaders there in force, all the nations coming together to look at how we can tackle climate change. So they have a big job, obviously, in terms of not just addressing climate change through mitigation, which is cutting greenhouse gas emissions, but also how we can deal with the impacts of climate change. So this thing called adaptation, making our countries, our people, our businesses, infrastructure, houses, everything more resilient to the impacts of climate change. I'm going to the Conference of the Parties 21 in Paris primarily to look at the negotiations from the standpoint of the university and our role in terms of capacity building. So in the draft text, and it's certainly, this is one of the key things for the negotiations, is going from a draft text which has lots of things to be discussed to a final text that all the nations can agree on. And there's an article in there called Article 8, which is written in what you probably call fairly dry language, but it's really crucial. It's about capacity building, and it's about how, yes, we can have lots of commitments of finance, money for tackling climate change. We can have the nations say we're going to reduce our emissions, we're making these commitments in terms of greenhouse gas reductions. But actually, to make that happen, particularly in the developing world, we need capacity building. We need expertise from academia, from business, from the third sector in terms of making it real, implementing all of the strategies that will make up the solution to climate change. We do great work on climate change research here in Edinburgh University, but also on the teaching side. I mean, our capacity building in terms of the students we train and then send out around the world. And I'd love to see this COP and the agreement give a clear message to us as a university and to Scotland more widely in terms of our role in helping that capacity building, our training of the new generations of not just world leaders, but the new generations of renewable energy experts, the new generations of adaptation experts who can really put all of that rhetoric that comes out of the climate conference, but make it reality in terms of action on the ground and around the world. So developing and developed world nations really stepping up to the plate on climate change.